The battle rages on land, but Jim's about to fight his own war alone on the water. Adventure starts now! Chapter 20. The Second Battle. Captain Smollett was in a foul mood after breakfast. For the first time, we saw him angry. "We shall be attacked in less than an hour," he said. "We are fewer in number, but if we fight according to plan, victory shall be ours." The fire was put out on the captain's orders so no smoke would give us away. We readied our arms and ammunition, and a round of brandy was served to us all. The captain laid out his plan of defense. "You'll man the door, Doctor. Stay out of sight, but fire through the loophole. Hunter, take the east side. Joyce, the west. Mr. Trelawney is our best shot, so he'll man the long north wall with its 5 loopholes alongside Gray. Hawkins and I will load the guns." An hour passed with no sign of the pirates. Suddenly, Joyce saw someone approach and fired. Within seconds, bullets flew, shot for shot. Though many balls struck the log house, none could get through. The firing soon died down, and the woods fell silent as the smoke cleared. We discovered the main attack was coming from the north, and the attacks from the other sides were only meant to distract us. But the captain made no changes to our positions. No loophole could be left unprotected. "We'll be trapped like rats if they take even one loophole," he said. Suddenly, a company of pirates burst from the woods on the north side. As they rushed toward the stockade, the others fired at us from the trees, and a bullet struck the doctor's musket, shattering it to pieces. The attackers swarmed over the fence like monkeys, and the squire and Gray brought down 3 of them. One ran off, but 4 pirates had broken through our defenses. These 4 were on us in a flash. One of them seized Hunter's musket through the loophole and struck him such a blow that he fell unconscious. Another attacked the doctor with his cutlass. Everything was chaos, the log house filled with smoke. "Give them the open! Grab your cutlasses!" Captain Smollett shouted. I grabbed a cutlass quickly, and someone else grabbed another. A blow cut across my knuckles as I ran out the door, and someone followed me. I couldn't see who it was. I saw the doctor fighting his attacker down the hill until the attacker ran off, his face slashed. Nearby, I came face to face with Anderson. He snarled and raised his weapon to strike me. I tried to dodge, but I slipped and rolled down the slope. Soon we emerged victorious in this battle. The man who had followed me out of the house had been none other than Gray. He had killed the boatswain, who had been leading the group of pirates. The second attacker had been shot dead, the doctor had sent the 3rd running, and the Dutchman was the last to escape. But we hurried back to our positions again in case the enemy regrouped for another attack. We had suffered casualties, too. Gray was seriously injured, and Joyce had been hurt. Captain Smollett was also wounded, though not seriously. "We are now facing 9 men," the captain declared. But he would soon realize the pirates were actually 8 in number now, not 9. Chapter 21. Jim Sets Off. The pirate died soon after, even as the doctor tried to save him, and Hunter passed away the next evening. The captain wasn't seriously hurt, but needed rest to recover fully. As for the cut across my knuckles, it turned out to be nothing more than a scratch, which the doctor bandaged. After dinner, the captain, squire, and doctor spoke privately while I sat with Gray. We watched the doctor suddenly get up, gather his hat, pistols, musket, and the chart, then leave. "Is Dr. Livesey crazy?" Gray asked, as the doctor disappeared among the trees. "I think he's gone to find Ben Gunn," I guessed. The house was stifling to live in now, and I envied the doctor exploring the cool woods while I sweated inside. I hated being surrounded by dead bodies. Suddenly, a wild, daring idea struck me. I filled my pockets with enough biscuits to last until the next day, took my pistols and powder, and slipped off toward the shore when no one was looking. It was late afternoon as I headed for the east coast of the island. Soon I reached the beach, where I could see the blue sea stretching out. Walking happily along, I spotted the Hispaniola with the Jolly Roger flying above her. I could see John Silver and the other men laughing and joking together on deck. Soon the sun set, and darkness fell. I have little time to find Ben Gunn's boat, I thought. I located the white rock he'd told me about, the spot where he'd hidden it. By the time I found the boat, it was night, but it turned out to be barely big enough for someone my size, more of a coracle, and honestly one of the worst boats ever built. But the good thing was that it was lightweight and easy to carry. I must sail to the Hispaniola unseen at night and cut its anchor, I decided. If my plan worked, it would keep the pirates busy. By morning, they'd have drifted deep into the sea, and all their attention would go toward re-anchoring the ship, keeping their minds off everything else. So I waited for total darkness to fall, eating my biscuits until I was full. Once Treasure Island was completely dark, I hoisted the coracle onto my shoulder and set off toward the sea. At first, the going was tough. I had to cross a long stretch of swampy sand in the dark, sinking above my ankles more than once before I finally managed to set the coracle down on the water. Chapter 22. A Coracle Journey. I realized the coracle was actually the perfect boat for someone of my weight and size. It was light and easy to row, but unfortunately not very stable. It spun round and round at times. Even Ben had admitted it was a little tricky to handle until you mastered her. I found she'd go in every direction except the one I intended. I was certain I'd never make it to the Hispaniola, but somehow, after a long struggle, I managed to paddle my way to the ship. I caught hold of her and took out my sea gully knife, but then I realized my coracle would capsize along with me if I simply cut the anchor rope. I was confused about what to do, but was saved by a sudden current that lifted the ship upward. I felt the hawser loosen in my grip. I was elated. I took out my knife, opened it with my teeth, and started cutting the strands one by one, till only 2 strands remained. Now I stayed still, waiting for the wind to ease, and listened to the voices coming from the cabin. The men inside were drunk and arguing with each other. Suddenly a breeze picked up, and I cut off the last strands. The ship slowly turned upon her heel and spun from one side to the other, drifting across the current. As she moved across the water, I wondered why the alarm hadn't been raised yet. I found out why when I saw Israel Hands wrestling with another sailor on deck. The pirates on shore were just as oblivious, busy drinking and singing. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. How evil both drink and the devil are, I thought, as the coracle sped along and the Hispaniola drifted southward. To my horror, I saw the coracle was heading straight toward the pirates' campfire on the shore. Then I heard shouts from the ship. The drunkards had finally realized what was happening. I could not change the coracle's course as it drifted toward the enemy on the shore. Utterly exhausted, and even though I was terrified, I fell asleep, giving in to fate. As the sea tossed my coracle about, I dreamed of home and the Admiral Benbow. When I woke in the morning, I found myself at the southwest end of Treasure Island, near a place called Haulbowline Head. Grateful for my luck, I decided to paddle to land, but it wasn't possible, as large rocks kept tumbling from the hills. So I decided to head north toward the Cape of the Woods instead. Surprising was that the Hispaniola seemed to change direction each time. I suddenly realized no one was sailing her. The crew was either drunk or had abandoned ship. What if I could get aboard and steer her back to Captain Smollett? That would please him, I thought. I paddled the coracle furiously toward the unsteered Hispaniola, but she kept pulling away from me. I chased her determinedly and had closed to almost 100 yards when the wind picked up and the ship gained more speed. Still, I was thrilled when her broadside finally turned to face my coracle. From my tiny boat, she looked enormous. I suddenly leapt up with all my strength as my coracle went under. I caught the jib boom with one hand and wedged my foot between the stay and the brace. As I clung on for dear life, the schooner crushed the coracle beneath her, and I realized I no longer had a boat. No boat, no way back, and Jim's about to find out exactly who or what is waiting for him on that ship. He's climbed aboard alone, but is he really alone? The Hispaniola is hiding a secret Jim never saw coming. Find out next time